why do you have this business? Lifestyle, income, wealth, or equity? Is it an income to have a nice income for you and your family? Is it wealth? You want to make money to invest? Is it equity? That ultimately you want to sell the business, have it be a succession business, have it be an equity partnership business. Thinking about those kind of things makes you think of your business differently.
Welcome to the Small Nation Podcast, brought to you by CoverLink Insurance, where people are more important than policies. On this show, we unpack lessons from entrepreneurs, break down development strategies, and do deep dives on small town success. Our goal is to provide value to our listeners by hosting conversations that teach, inform, and inspire.
Hey everyone, my name is Ethan DeLeon, and I'm here in the studio with the founder and CEO of Small Nation, Jason Duff. Today we're excited to have founder and CEO of 11 multi-million dollar businesses, Donna Krech, on the show. Donna, welcome.
Donna.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I've really been looking forward to this time with you guys, really.
Well, it is a brand new year, and I also have been excited about this. I was thinking back to when I met Donna, and it's going to show our maturity. Probably it's been about 20 years ago. I was learning about entrepreneurship, and was always looking for events and speakers that I could learn. People that have accomplished and built successful businesses, that had developed effective strategies to connect with their customers. They had built products, and came across an author and kind of a thought leader in marketing, and his name was Dan Kennedy. And for people that follow marketing and business, Dan is like known as really one of the OGs, the original OGs of direct response marketing. And what was powerful about attending this conference, I think it was in Dallas, Donna was invited to she was a speaker. And so as you go through the program, you're reading about these successful bios of people that have accomplished and started companies, just crushed their goals. And I recognized and saw Lima, Ohio in the in the program, and Donna was the speaker. And she shared just authentically, and it really resonated with me about how she built her companies around health and wellness, and really that coming out in her life of some moments where she had to make some key, bold decisions. And I'm excited to hear a little bit about Donna's story and sharing that today. But really, for a lot of our listeners that are regular followers on the podcast, we don't talk a lot about health and wellness. And I really think that's a topic that more of us need to be, real about. That if you don't have your health and wellness, you don't have anything. And I love that Donna, she's kind of coined this term in the marketplace as being healthy selfish, right? And I want to know more about that, Donna. So let me just kind of turn it over to you. Tell us a little about yourself, how this whole idea about being an entrepreneur and a business owner, how that started and began for you.
So let's start with healthy selfish.
Yeah.
Because that's very much part of who I am. And it's a really amazing thing, and it will change everything for your business and your life, your career, everything, if you get your head around it. And if you don't have your head around it, then your business begins to own you. Your career begins to own you. Your time is no longer your own. And as business people, that's why we got into business. We got into business so time would be our own. That's why we did
that
it.
really is kind of the goal, right? It's like, I want more independence.
That's right.
In my life. I want to be able to retire. I want to buy that second home. Like, that is part of the dream that we all sacrifice a huge amount of time, talent, and treasure to achieve.
I think that's the money part. I'm really talking even more specifically about the time and freedom part. We get into business because, well, quite honestly, we don't do well at answering to other people, right?
Constitutionally unemployable.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to literally coin the phrase, be our own boss, meaning we come and go as we please. We do what we want. We take the risk, but we get to set things up. So when I came up with Healthy Selfish, it was about when I got into business, when I owned my first business, I was 6 months pregnant with my son. This is not a time that you typically go into business, but I did. And the reason was so crazy. The guy that I worked for in Lima, I was a manager of a weight loss facility, he didn't supply maternity benefits. So I'm like, oh, I guess I have to make more money because I'm going to have this kid, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I became a franchisee in that company. Prior to that, like I say, I'd been a manager. Prior to that, I'd had hardly any worthwhile jobs of any kind. I mean, I had been at a point, Jason, and you know this, where I did not have enough money to feed my child. I was pushing a baby stroller in Midland, Texas with a 10-month-old in that stroller and sobbing in 115, 120 degree heat in Midland, Texas. And I'm sobbing because I know the last money I have on the planet is in my pocket, jingling. The operative word is jingling.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how I'm going to feed her next time she's hungry. So I'm pushing the stroller and I'm crying. So there was something within my spirit, something, at least this little trace, I call it Holy Spirit. Some people call it universe, call it whatever you want to call it, that said, you know in your core there's more. You know in your core there's more. And that kept me going. So moved back to Lima, got, again, random jobs. I'm one of those people who graduated from college after a year without a degree. Some people refer to it as quitting. Yeah.
But you graduated.
So that was me, right? So
It takes courage to quit.
Yeah.
So I came back and was doing random jobs and found myself as a manager in this weight loss center. And I broke all the records in the company. We were having great, amazing success. And I bought a franchise. 6 months pregnant now with my son. It was in Sydney, Ohio.
Yeah, sure.
And again, broke all the records. We're doing great. Ended up with 8 of those. And number one franchisee in the company, and started dating one of the executives from the company. I'd gotten divorced by this time. And we decided that we were in love and going to get married, and the president of the company was not in favor of a corporate exec being married to a franchisee. He found that as a conflict of interest. So he told John, now a part of my world for 36 years.
Wow.
He told John, you're going to have to choose. This is a conflict of interest. You marry her or you work here. He chose me.
Good choice, John. Thank you, John.
And we went on then to open women's fitness facilities. Those were called Bodygenics. We then went back into weight loss in a different fashion than what we'd been in the franchises. That was Thin and Healthy. Moved into Total Solution, which blended them both. Began franchising, licensing, distributorshipping all over the nation. So we had multiple locations around the nation. And then most recently, it's Turbo Fast 2032.0, which is the fastest way to lose weight in the safest way possible, balancing out hormones so your high state of health occurs. Now, that was a really fast version of the story.
Yeah.
But to come back to Healthy Selfish, it's when I got into that business and I was 6 months pregnant with my son. It wasn't because I was going to make $1 billion. I was going to have a baby. And I needed to have a business. I determined to have a business that wasn't going to run me. I was going to run it. And I was going to empower and equip the people who I was blessed to have work with me so they could be successful, so they could win. I was going to watch my time and what I put my time into so it could be of maximum productivity, working in my gift, in my purpose. We'll talk about that today.
Okay.
Working in your purpose is everything. I'm a big one on acronyms, Jason, and purpose is your powerful, unique, revelational proof of your spiritual equipping.
Wow.
And when you are in your spiritual equipping, there is no stopping you. You don't stand down. You don't crash. And not to say we haven't had stuff come against us. I mean, 2020 came against us hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we were serving
It
people.
did so many businesses.
Right.
We were serving people in the brick and mortar business world. And
told you can't open.
that's right.
Yeah.
And they're selling our products. Oh, products. Supply chain. So 2020, we show them how to pivot. We do okay. 2021, not so good because the supply chain really started to hit hard and we couldn't get product. So let's think about the cycle of revenue, right? We couldn't get product, so they weren't getting product. So they're not ordering product. So we can't order product. Plus, we're not getting product. Product that once took 3 weeks to get is now taking 6 months to get. It was bad.
Yeah.
And 2022 got worse, actually. And in the last couple of years up to now, or I would say a couple of years prior, because the last 6 months it's been really returning in a massive way, I lost my healthy selfish. I became a slave to the business. The business was owning me. I was working all the time. And you know what? There are people out there right now, Jason, listening to us, small business owners, career people, real estate agents, real estate brokers, real estate investors, community leaders, civic leaders. And I would just ask this question, be honest with yourself. Is your career, is your business owning you, or do you really own it? Because if you don't own it, you can create a life by design. You can get into your purpose, and you can have purpose in your business that aligns with your personal purpose. You can start operating with systems that are going to generate more money in less time. Operating in systems with your team that's going to generate more money in less time. And what I came to the place of within the last couple of years is exactly where I was when I very first started. And that is, look, life is short.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah.
And they're not making any more of this thing called time.
Right.
And I'm not missing it. Now, I have worked harder potentially than I've ever worked in my life in the last year, because we put together campaigns that we can teach to people. We've put together sales systems we can teach to people. And we were doing that in a lot of our other companies anyway. But now I was looking at it from a very different perspective, because to be very candid about it, I've been very, very blessed. I've had great people working on my teams, and we worked like solid teams, and we were able to just keep overcoming and keep achieving and keep moving forward. So me going back to being in a place of, I know the kind of life I want, and by golly, I'm going to make it happen. It didn't feel like a good thing at the time.
Yeah.
It was hard, but it was a good thing, because now, and Jason, you're one of the key reasons that I'm doing this now, because when we sat down and talked,
Yeah, I remember.
and for the listeners out there, you and I have become pretty good friends
Very much so.
since you heard me speak in Dallas. And we were sitting down talking, and you said, man, Donna, why are you not consulting? Why are you not leading and teaching people how to do what you've done?
Right.
And I had to really sit down and say, he's right. Because when you're in the middle of not being healthy, selfish, not working in your purpose, you're overwhelmed by time, you're overwhelmed by life, it's hard to see the forest for the trees. It's hard to say, well, what am I great at? I went back to the program I created called Purpose-Led Profit, took my own course, right? And said,
Yeah.
and these are questions I would put to folks. What have you achieved? What have you excelled at? What are the accolades you've gotten, your certifications, your degrees, the awards, the recognitions? Okay, now, what have you not done so great at? Where have your failures been? Because there's a recipe for success in there too. What do you love doing? What are you passionate about? What do people say you're good at? And there's just a whole series of questions I would ask. When you answer those questions, we begin to uncover your purpose. And when we uncover your purpose, and the next thing is we look for your life by design. What do you want your life to look like? Everything starts falling into place with the systems of getting more leads easier, making more sales faster, and not one at a time anymore. We teach people how to do one-on-many selling. It has been a game changer for us and the businesses we've taught it to. And there's no business that this can't apply to. I don't care if it's a butcher, baker, candlestick maker. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's really no business that these systems can't apply to. And once we started doing them, I mean, the stories are astounding. The people that I have been blessed to teach them to, were taking an hour maybe to talk to somebody to make a sale, and now in an hour they're making 50 sales.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? So do the math on that one with whatever business or career you're in. So it really did all derive from Healthy Selfish, because it was about, I know what I want to achieve, but I know what kind of life I want to have.
Yeah.
And I think that's what needs to drive all of us. What do you want your life to look like? And then let's make your business or your career fit into that. Not the other way around. And too often it's the other way around. What's my business? What's my career? And hopefully my life will squeeze into there somewhere.
I love that. We are getting ready. This is episode 99, I think, on our podcast, and we're getting ready to hit 100. And what I love to celebrate is go back over the catalog and library of episodes that we've had as entrepreneurs are along their journey. And one thing that I loved you mentioned was that earlier in your career, you had the opportunity to work for someone else. And even though there were, some painful experiences with that, there was a lot of training, coaching, and mentorship around a franchise. And some people, especially early in their career, by benefiting from someone else's systems and processes. And when you met John, he was part of a franchise. And we interviewed Wilson Reiser from Winans Coffee and Chocolate that kind of unpacked what it means to do licensing with businesses, which I know, Donna, you've had experience with, of licensing legally the use of your systems and processes versus doing a franchise and signing a franchise agreement. So I'll just mention for listeners, if that is something that's in your court, that part of your journey that you want to do, listen to that episode.
Yeah.
But here's what I think is powerful that you've done is by learning and working in someone else's business, utilizing their systems, you saw the value of building some of that on your own over the years. Can you speak to where that shift was that you said, hey, I am learning unique systems and processes that I want to build to make those assets within my business?
So I have been franchisor, franchisee, licensor, licensee, distributor, distributee. I have been all of those.
Yeah.
And let's see. My brain is wired for systems. So this is one of my superpowers.
Okay.
I am good at seeing a system, creating a system, pulling a system out of you that you don't even know you have, right? I'm good at that.
Yep.
And I suppose when I was in that franchisee world where we were the franchisees, I saw the system really maybe easier than anybody else did because of the way my brain's wired.
Yeah.
Well, when then John and I left the company to start Bodygenics, it was just automatic for me to create systems. There is a checklist for everything. There's a system or there should be.
There should
and
be.
if there isn't, and sometimes when I say systems, people think technology. Systems goes far beyond technology.
Right.
Systems is a word that applies to your marketing, to your selling, to your hiring, to your daily meeting structure. I mean, if there's a checklist for something, anybody can do anything. And I mean that literally. I had somebody say to me once, actually, I think it was my brother, because I believe people can do anything they want to do, right? And my brother said, well, I'm 5'7" or whatever I am, 5'9", whatever. He goes, I could never play basketball. I said, I don't agree with you. You don't want to play basketball. If you wanted to play basketball, I don't care how tall you are, you'd figure out a way. Now, what Donna Krech would say is, let's find a system.
Yeah.
let's find a checklist and find out, what position is best for you, what role is best for you. Because I really do believe that we're all capable of becoming all we were created to be. We have to want to. And again, I'm going to go back to this life by design thing. You've got to know what's possible. You've got to know, especially with entrepreneurs, you have to understand mindset and entrepreneurial mindset. You have to, because it's a wackadoodle mindset. And
To most people.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the books I want to write before I leave this planet is what would they say if they knew we were crazy?
Yeah, it's like that.
Because everybody out there that has a business
has a
is
level of
relating.
crazy.
He has a level of crazy.
Yeah.
And I think when you come into understanding that entrepreneurial mindset, how we look at things, why we look at things that way, that there are plenty of other crazies out there that we just need to find. So we have our tribe, right? When you've got that mindset down, you can go into whatever you want to achieve with a much better view of things. And again, I believe lay out the life that you want, even right now. I would say think about the life you have. Think about from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed. What does your life look like? How many hours of it are in work? How many hours of it are with the people you love? How many hours of it are in self-care? How many hours are doing things you really enjoy? And now look back at that and say, is it what I want it to be? Is that what I want it to be? Well, what do I want it to be? And we break down life by design with those categories and a few others. And we begin to build life by design. Then, like I said, we'll build the business that works into that. Now, somebody might say, well, not everybody can build that business that works into that. Yes, you can. You just don't know that you can. It's systems. It's checklists. It's, like I said, knowing how to get more leads faster and easier, how to make more sales in a way maybe that you hadn't thought about making, but you make more money, so you make more profit, and you're doing it in less time, so you have more time.
So let's unpack that, because I do think for a lot of our listeners, you've caught their attention.
Yeah.
And I think can you give some specific examples? Because we do have a lot of brick and mortar businesses. And I'm just going to share one business type we run into a lot is I started making something in my home and then moved to maybe, having a booth at a local fair. And it could be a food product. It could be something that they curate or build or craft. And I'm signing a lease to get a storefront, but I want to do all of those things with the systems that you mentioned to find more customers, to scale and grow. And I know the internet's available to me, but where do I even start, Donna?
So I ask a few questions of somebody with that kind of conversation. What do you want to build? First, what do you want to build? Okay, and sometimes I have to help somebody dream again.
Yeah.
Because we,
Get too practical and you're
yeah,
afraid to
and what
dream.
I'll typically say is, okay, look, you're 7 years old again. The rule is you don't get to limit yourself. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough education. I don't know the right people, whatever. You're not allowed to do that. Let's go to the dream. Now, maybe at 7, you didn't have what you do now, right? So you can add that to it. And I'm pretty good at helping people move that along. So what is the dream? What do you want this to become? And not just, again, income or wealth or equity, but lifestyle, right? So what do you want it to become? What do you want your life to be? And then I'm going to ask some specific questions about what you do, because we may start with brick and mortar, because you can do leads faster and sales easier with brick and mortar. You don't have to do online. Now, doing it online will take you to the next level. What I love and what I would do if it wasn't January 15th with a ton of snow on the ground. I would walk up and down the streets of Bell Fountain, and I would go into these storefronts, and I would say, man, I can show you how to make a lot of money easier by taking this incredible gift that you have. I don't care what it is. I don't care what their craft is. Doesn't matter.
Right.
And showing you how to show others how to do it, and they'll pay you for that, because they don't want to just come in and buy your thing. They love your thing. They'll come and buy your thing, but they don't want to just come in and buy your thing. They want to buy your knowledge. They want to buy what you know. And it doesn't matter. I mean, sitting here looking at Ethan, he's great at what he does. You can make a lot of money telling people how to do what you do. There's no limit. There's no limit to bringing in more leads. One of my favorite ways to do that, to teach people how to do that, Jason, is challenges. Putting together a challenge. They're fun. Everybody loves them. They're exciting. And I don't know, whatever the business is that's listening to us right now, maybe you get, 5, 10 new prospects, new customers, maybe a day coming in your door. Well, what if we could turn that into 350 at one time?
Yeah.
In an hour. Easy. I mean, and truly, genuinely easy, because you get to talk about something you love. And what is there? There's a system for it, right? So it doesn't matter what business they're in. I would say, what do you want to achieve? What does that look like? Okay, now what pieces do we need to make that happen? And if a person doesn't know, my favorite coaching question is, well, I know you don't know, but if you did know, what would the answer be? Because here's the thing, friends. You know the answers. You just don't know you know the answers. But you do know the answers. And sometimes it just takes a coach or somebody to help pull that out of you. I mean, I started doing, after we talked, Jason, I'm telling you, you get a credit for a lot of this. I started doing VIP days. And with a VIP day, I literally sit down with that one human being.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, where do we want to go? And I've got specific questions I ask. How are we going to get there? What steps do we need to take? In those questions, I go over who do we know, because I can tell you that who you know is already going to begin to build this. And not so much somebody's going to step in and do it for you. Yeah. You just don't realize how many people out there want the knowledge that you have. And when you begin to put that word out there, people start raising their hand, especially, like I said, I love to do challenges, teach people how to do challenges, free master classes, but let's not limit that to online, because again, we can go to the candy store, to the bakery right across the street here, and I could show them how to do a challenge locally, how to do a masterclass locally that will bring more sales easier. And it's one on many.
This week, we had a chance to go up to Ottawa, Ohio. And if you've not been to Ottawa recently, Amy Sealtz is the director of Go Ottawa and the Putnam County Economic Development Agency. And there are two really amazing projects that are happening there. There's a brand new brewery called Ottawa Brewing that the building has just went through this massive $2 million restoration, this incredible restaurants there. And then just a block down, there is a new boutique hotel called the Duff. And have you been to Ottawa? It's not recently.
That.
Well, here's the thing. I have not been in Ottawa in a few years, and I experienced both of these businesses, and I was transported where I did not feel I was in a small town. One of the nicest boutique hotels with an 1890 building that had been fully renovated and furnished with all modern amenities that you would see in Charleston, South Carolina, or Savannah, Georgia. And then I'm drinking this amazing beer and having an asparagus salad with smoked salmon in Putnam County. Okay, but here's my point: is we took up Brittany Saxton, and those of you that know, we interviewed Brittany one of our first episodes on the podcast, and she shared the story of her learning about making pizza and opening up 600 downtown. And around the table, the restaurant, I think, has been open in Ottawa for about a year, and they're thinking about adding pizza to the menu. And the chef came out and he sampled some of the dough that he had just worked on that day. And this was where the light bulb went off for me for what you're mentioning, Donna, is Brittany started spiritually sharing her advice of her 15 years of making dough and pizza and giving this young chef, she's also pretty young, but giving this younger chef the advice about how to, the yeast, what type of yeast was being using, what the temperature of the dough was when he started, how long it had been cold rice. And for me, I'm not very good at cooking. I can barely do grilled cheese and tomato soup. But to hear her talk about dough and the way that she did and that sharing that knowledge, I sat back realizing, I don't think Brittany realizes the gift that she has in teaching others her skills, her knowledge, her processes. And it goes back to what you're saying is that if you make candles in your store, if you bake cookies, if you are passionate about interior design and furnishing homes, what is between your two ears is your superpower?
So I would say Brittany was definitely in her purpose, right? She's definitely in her purpose, but let's not limit it to, and you're not, Jason, let's not limit it to she makes great pizza, right? Because in your purpose, powerful is powerful for you, unique to you. So your purpose is powerful for you. It's unique to you. It's revelational for others. Okay.
Wow.
So now it begins to share what you know.
Yeah.
So I would say you mentioned cookies. Let's just talk cookies for a second.
I love cookies.
Let's play with this for a second.
Okay.
So we've got a bakery. Okay. So bakery is going to have a challenge. Who makes the best chocolate chip cookies? So not only do you get to bake chocolate chip cookies in your home or at the bakery if you want to do it on location, but you can do it in your home, and then we do this online. Not only do you end up getting to bake some great chocolate chip cookies, but you get to learn how to make great chocolate chip cookies. So on day one, we would go over what's possible. And then maybe day two of the challenge, we would share some of the recipes and challenge them to go bake them that night. And they will, because they're chocolate chip cookies. So
right. That's great.
Right. I'd love to lead this challenge. This would be one of the easiest
I'm liking this challenge already.
And then on day three, we'd say, okay, now how did they taste? Okay, now want to learn more? Because we're going to do oatmeal raisin and pumpkin and snickerdoodle and sugar. And by the way, if you want us to just make them for you and ship them to you, we have a subscription service that we can do that. So now we can sign up a subscription service to teach people once a month how to make the next cookie, right? And it's coming out of a person who's got this anointing, who's got this purpose. They're great at what they do. But we've also got a subscription available. If you don't feel like making the cookies, we'll send you new cookies every month. Now, listen, I just came up with that one like bam.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I'm gifted at. I'm good at sitting down with literally any business owner, any career person and saying, let's talk about what you do. Let's talk about the life you want. You can tell I'm hung up on that, right? Life by design. Let's talk about the life you want. Now, let's put pieces in place that start to make that happen for you, because it's all doable. People just don't realize it's doable. Same thing one-on-many selling, Jason.
Yeah.
Like you can have, in the brick and mortar world, they probably call it an open house, right? I don't know that I'd call it that. That's kind of worn out. I'd probably have to come up with some new sexy way of saying it.
I love that.
But we're going to have an open house. You mentioned interior design. Okay, so we're going to have a free party where we're going to be teaching you how to DIY your bedroom to look like you invested $15,000 to have it done for no money, zero money.
Right.
Okay. Or depending upon the prospect we're looking for, maybe for only $2,500.
Right. Which could be a deal.
Yeah.
With some of these remodels.
That's right. So now we're going to have it on a set day and time. They could come into the business, but again, this could be done online with Zoom, and you're beginning to teach them how to do this. Now you're going to give them some how to, but then you're going to leave that. You can't redecorate their entire bedroom in an hour, right? So you're going to give them some how-to, which I can help with, but you're going to leave them with, here are some items you can purchase from me, or here's some future training you can get from me, or if you want to finish knowing how to where to go to get the best deals on the bedroom stuff and how to put it together you can get that from me. There are just so many things that people can share and people can teach to get more time for themselves, make more money for their business easier, and they're doing it in something they love. So now you're fueled, because when you're doing something you love, it does not feel like work.
That's right.
And when this world opens up to you with these possibilities, the things I'm talking about, that's where you start going, there's really no end to this. There's no end to what I can do. And there isn't. We limit ourselves. And again, I mentioned this when we first started talking. I did that. I've lived this amazing life with this freedom and working in my gifts for a very, very long time, decades. And with what we went through after COVID, it just started to shut down. I forgot about it.
You had to refine yourself.
I had to, when I say I lost myself, I mean, listen, I decided to stop professing those words because I was saying them all the time. I lost myself. I was saying them a lot. And I decided to go, There were things I needed to learn. There were things I needed to learn. And again, see, that's one of those entrepreneurial secrets, because when things start not going our way, or we look around, it seems like we feel all alone. Like there's nobody.
It's a very we've talked a lot about the loneliness. It is a real thing.
All right, at this time, we're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. Tired of gyms not being open when you want to work out? Then check out the region's best 24-hour fitness center, Anytime Fitness in downtown Bell Fountain. They have all the equipment you need and the best trainers and coaches to help you get in the best shape of your life. It's truly your one-stop shop for fitness. Anytime Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Brew Fountain's voted best beer bar in Ohio. Come visit their award-winning team in downtown Bell Fountain for fresh, local craft beer, soups, salads, sandwiches, wine on tap, and handcrafted cocktails. And they're always available to cater your next event with their boxed lunches and platters. Cheers to Small Nation.
And I think what the buckets in my brain as you were describing some of these systems, there are some people that are just wired, they want to do it on their own. They're not really, going to read a book or work with a teacher or coach. They're just going to do it. And then there's a group of people that I think want to have a level of independence to do something on their own with someone else. So that might be, designing a product with a coach. And then there are some people that as they learn more about you and your systems and processes, they're like, I trust you implicitly. Why, instead of me wasting more time or more resources, why don't I have you do this for me and do more of the heavy lifting? And I think that those different buckets, if you can apply those to your life and your business as whether you're presenting an information product, which could be a YouTube video that people are paying you to buy, or it could be something you're giving away for free, or it's a course that they would subscribe to you or buy with you that you're teaching them along the way the steps to do it. Or in some case, that premium version, which, I find that there's a lot of people that would just say, listen, I could listen to all 100 podcasts. And I'm sure they're all great, but maybe I only want to listen to 5 of the most significant ones. But here are my 5 or 6 problems I'm having. I want to work, just like you said, that VIP day with you, and I'm willing to pay you because I know is if I wasted it or spent all this time, with the years and knowledge and experience that you have, it'd be better for me to make that investment now. Would that be accurate of those kind of brain types?
I love the way you just said it. The only thing I would add to that, everything you said, I wouldn't take anything away. Yeah. The only thing I would add to that is determine who you are in those buckets. Are you the person who can do it on your own? Right? Because listen, I don't love that. I don't do well as an island.
So can we be honest? One of the reasons why Donna and I have connected is I particularly am really good at coaching and mentoring others. But when I try to see myself, and we struggle with this, and it's a pretty common thing. Like we can't look in the mirror and see our superpowers. Right. And so it's been interesting because she'll have moments, and I recall a moment that I had, and let's just maybe talk about this, is that Donna, she and her husband, John, have a place at Indian Lake, and Indian Lake's a place very near and dear to me. It's my hometown, and I grew up. And if you know Indian Lake, it's this beautiful 5,600 lake in the middle of Ohio, and has some of the most gorgeous sunrises and sunsets. And Donna has a place there to recharge and rejuvenate and celebrate family. And of course, getting an invitation to Donna's Lake House is pretty special. So I got an invitation. It was just a day that we went, we're sitting out looking at the water, and she said, "How are you?" And your immediate response with a lot of those, professional courtesy conversations, oh, I'm good.
Good. Yeah.
I really wasn't good.
Yeah.
I was kind of unpacking. It's like, hey, I'm struggling with sleep, and I was sharing that I'm having energy issues, and and she just started like just asking more questions like Donna does, and then she said like, well, tell me about like what are you doing for your health? And I was saying, well, trust me, I work out. I'm on the hitting the treadmill, and I was doing all the things, but then she said, how are you resting? Are you resting and recharging? And the thing about it is, and I think she was speaking maybe to a younger version of herself because she'd been through this. Mm-hmm. I was experiencing something. She said, have you ever heard of cortisol and adrenal fatigue? And I'm like, what? What is that? Your head goes to like immediate things. It's like, is it cancer? Is it what? She's like, no. You are in a constant state of stress, and you've been that way for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And it was like the point where I was right on the cusp of probably having a major health crisis. Mm-hmm. And so needing that reset and retool, she worked with me and she went to her supplement cabinet. She's like, listen, these are things that have helped me over the years. And John, her husband's an expert in that. He got a business around helping people with supplements. But then she said, these are the things you got to do in your life to change to get good with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So people aren't aware of adrenal fatigue, and they aren't aware that there are 3 levels, right? There's fatigue, which pretty much everybody has. Pretty much everybody that lives and breathes
over 30.
Has, that's right.
It keeps going down.
Yeah. But then there is all the way to exhaustion.
Yeah.
And there's all the way to burnout. Right? And then failure. And failure's dead. So failure's not good. Right. I was right at the end of burnout, which is right at the tip of failure. And our bodies are not made to keep producing cortisol. I mean, look, go back to the paleo man days, and there's a bear chasing you. Okay,
right.
Adrenals are kicking in, cortisol's pumping because you are running from the bear. The bear's chasing you, you're running from the bear. But you get to a cave, and you get in the cave, and you pull the stone over the cave, and you are able to go,
yeah.
We never get away from the bear. In 2025, we don't get away from the bear. So this cortisol that was really, God put it into our body to help us go fight and flight, right? Fight or flight. And then we can, but we keep going. So what happens is with ladies, that cortisol caps out. Well, it starts stealing from progesterone because it's got to keep pumping because you're still running from the bear, right? Okay, now progesterone's lower. Estrogen, therefore, is higher. Cortisol's off the charts. Hormones are out of whack. Let's talk about guys. With guys, your cortisol is going to cap out too. It's going to lean over and start stealing from your testosterone because you're under stress. You got to keep producing it, right? So now you've got cortisol high capped out. You got testosterone dropping. You've got estrogen too. So now you're looking at potential estrogen dominance. You've got insulin that's going up and down depending upon your eating. Your hormones are whacked out. And if your hormones are whacked out, here are some signs. You're not sleeping that great at night.
Yeah.
You have unexplained weight gain, usually around the belly.
Yeah.
Right? You've got a flabbier sense
Look
to your
at
body.
right now. Hello.
You got a flabbier sense to your body.
Yeah.
You've got cognitive function, like, why'd I walk in here? My favorite is, where'd I put my phone? And it's in your hand. Right? Remember that one? Mm-hmm. So there's cognitive function, there's cholesterol problems, blood pressure problems, diabetic problems, IBS or acid reflux issues, fatigue, unexplained fatigue, achiness, inflammation in your body. I could just keep going. And these are hormones. When you balance out the hormones and put the hormones into a place of homeostasis, it is seemingly miraculous. When you put the body back into a place of homeostasis by balancing out those hormones, literally within 2 days, you see a result in your body. You visibly are littler. You lose weight effortlessly when you put the body back to homeostasis. In less than 2 weeks, you're starting to see all these health issues just improve or the bad ones go away. Again, look, it's the way God made the body. We're designed to be in homeostasis. So it's interesting we're talking about this, Jason, because we are in the middle right now of telling the world about the new Turbo 2030 2.0. So it's going to feel like an unusual domain to go to, but it's turbofastweightloss.com. And at turbofastweightloss.com, there's a free masterclass offered right now that will show you how to put your body back into homeostasis. That's what the masterclass will do. It will explain these hormone facts that I've gone over a little bit more in detail than me rushing through them right now. Effortless weight loss, 20 pounds in 30 days is the typical, without any hunger, without losing any muscle mass. No, this is not a shot, but it's known as nature's Ozempic. You lose faster than with Ozempic. You don't have the side effects. The side effects are now you sleep through the night like a baby. Good side effect. No more headaches, right? No more acid reflux. No more dry skin. So the side effects are pretty good ones. So it may say turbofastweightloss.com, but that's because people typically this time of year especially are looking to drop some pounds. But the health benefits are mind-blowing. So when you put that body again back into that place of homeostasis, really that's what we were talking about. When I said to you, I almost remember you saying, I'm okay, and knowing me and my personality, I probably said like,
you probed more.
You're lying.
Push a little bit more on that. Yeah.
Which we need people that are like that. And I do think like that whole question that Donna mentioned is like, what do you want out of this?
Yeah.
And it gets a little bit more real. You have different lenses about every 5 years. And I think now listening to people that have had the life experience, I love to ask this question, Donna. If you could speak to the younger version of yourself, is there any nuggets or lessons that you wish that version of person would maybe have thought a little bit more about now that you have the life experience?
And because of where I'm at and what I'm now offering, I've really put thought into this. So I've got an absolute answer.
Great.
And that is going back to the buckets.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to know who you are. Mm-hmm. Are you somebody that can sit alone in a QB, in an office by yourself and learn everything you need to learn? Or are you somebody who needs like-mindedness and other people and growing with somebody who is really at the same place you are? Not necessarily, I wouldn't advise being in a community with people who are at very different places, because you've got goals. You've got a place you're at, and then you've got goals you want to achieve. So are you the person that does better with like-mindedness, learning? Are you the person that wants to go to a higher level fast and be in like a VIP day, saying, look, I just want to go for it. Teach me how to do this. Are you the person that wants to hire it done for you? To your point, right? So you have to know who you are. And then what I would say to the younger Donna is figure out your way to learn. Process what you need to learn. That's why one of the things I've talked about today, Jason, is knowing what's possible for your business, for your career. Because knowing what's possible allows you to process more what you want, right? So I'd say process more what you want. To your point, it probably changes a good amount every 5 years. But now, what do you need to learn? I would say to Donna, what do you want? What do you need to learn? Now, where do you need to go to learn it? Because here's the truth, you guys, and I don't know if this is true for the two of you, but boy, this is true for me. Sometimes I'd come back with, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know where to go to learn what I don't know, right? Okay, now we're back to the like-mindedness. This is why we've got to be together. It's why, as entrepreneurs, high-level career people, we have to be together, because somebody's going to be able to, there's always somebody at a peak and always somebody at a pit. Right?
I'd agree.
And the people at the peak are going to be able to say, here's who you need to learn from. Here's what you need to learn. Let me connect you so you can rise up from the pit. And so the people in the pit now have help from the people who are thriving at the time. And the people who are thriving learn from the people in the pit, because they're like, look, it is not high rolling, high sailing, perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And if I hit a place where I'm kind of falling, I'll know I'm going to be okay. So you need to know what you want to achieve. You need to know your way of learning. You need to know where to go to learn. What do you need to learn, and where do you go to learn it? And if you don't know, get connected to somebody who can help you know. And then I would tell the younger Donna, there is the right kind of marketing is literally the miracle for a business, period, end of conversation. The right kind of marketing. I love the concept of marketing oil wells. I love that concept. So now we make an offer, and we have a page for the person to go redeem the offer. A landing page is my favorite. You can do a Facebook page if that's all you want to do, but a landing page captures the name so we can keep communicating with them. So we capture the name. I mean, I just did it, right? turbofastweightloss.com is where I can find out if you're interested in losing 20 pounds in 30 days without hunger, no muscle mass loss, all those things, getting into homeostasis. I know because you raised your hand, right? So I have Life by Design Business Blueprint. That's a long one. Life by Design Business Blueprint. It's a waiting list right now because I'm doing VIP days, and we're going to be launching a training, a group coaching training on this. So that's you raising your hand. So I'm in favor of having a landing page where a person can go opt in. They can say, I'm interested in learning more about this, because now you create your campaign, your repurposable lives forever campaign behind that landing page to go to whatever masterclass, challenge, and then whatever you're going to sell. And then eventually they just go into, your drip. You're communicating. I call it loving on your list. You're going into loving on your list.
Love that.
And guess what, you guys? It never dies. So that little marketing oil well, it goes and sits over there for the gal who wants to teach people how to make cookies, and it's there forever. Literally forever. So now she's on Small Nation podcast talking about how she's teaching people how to make cookies. And she says, go to teachmehowtomakecookies.com. And those people now are raising their hand saying, hey, I'm interested in making cookies. And now she's got emails already set up for people to go watch the masterclass on how to make, now can you see how it's more money and less time?
And that's the thing. For those of you that are listening, you can start to see and put the pieces of the puzzle together to how you can build a successful, sustainable business that's working when you're not working. What I love is like getting those little dings and pings in the middle of the night, like, oh, you closed a sale. Like those.
Yeah. So one last thing, Jason, that I would tell the younger Donna, maybe there are two. The one or two last things that I would tell her is, I call it the long tail. This is definitely not a real estate term. I call it the long tail on your business. And the long tail is dreaming where you want the business to be. Because you need to determine, why do you have this business? Lifestyle, income, wealth, or equity? Is it an income, to have a nice income for you and your family? Is it wealth? You want to make money to invest? Is it equity? That ultimately you want to sell the business, have it be a succession business, have it be an equity partnership business. Thinking about those kind of things makes you think of your business differently. It's not just working smarter in the today, but it's setting things up. And I think that's why I've fallen in love with marketing oil wells. Because coming back to what did I need to learn? You and I were involved in a space where we had access. I was in Dan Kennedy's highest level mastermind group for years.
Yeah.
We had access to all this. And quite honestly, I was very fortunate, very blessed in my business. And I don't know that I plugged it all in. So when I hit a point of, what do I need to do right now? It came rushing back to me. And I was like, all right, well, now by golly, I'm doing it. So now we've done it. I spent the entire last year putting campaign after campaign together. So that's how I know they're all duplicable. Doesn't really matter what you do. The last thing I would tell her is, be careful about regret. Because we can say, I should have. Yeah. I could have. Why didn't I? That was dumb. I let that get by. I let that opportunity pass. I made that huge mistake. What I would say to her is, you're right where you're meant to be.
Yeah.
You needed to learn what you needed to learn.
Yeah.
There's no way. Dennis Waitley's a friend of mine, and as I was talking with him about this, he said, "Well, Donna, let me ask you a question." He said, "Back then, when you had that, whatever you have that big regret over," and I'd say this to you guys and to our listeners too, whatever that thing is you have that big regret over, did you know then what you know now? The answer is no.
Right.
Well, that big regret that you have rushing through your mind right now that you're thinking of, were you the person then that you are now? No. Were you at the place in life then that you are now? Mm-mm. Okay, so for the person who knew what they knew then, who was who they were then, who was at the place in life that they were then, you made the perfect decision.
Wow.
You're right where you're meant to be.
Such a great lesson.
Powerful.
Yeah. Need to hear that.
Powerful. Yeah. And from there, you're freed up to start showing gratitude again and remembering how to dream again. Because look, when we go through yucky stuff and hard stuff and stressful stuff, it is very easy to forget how to dream.
Yeah.
Because we're caught up in the moment of the yuck, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. So learning how to dream again and stepping into your greatness. And I think that's one of the reasons that, oh no, I don't think, I know. It's one of the reasons that I just jumped headfirst into this Life by Design Business Blueprint and VIP days and marketing oil wells and teaching people how to make more money easier so they can get their time back. Because we've all got greatness we were created for. We get one go around on this planet. One, right? I don't want to go to my grave with anything left in me.
Yeah. Let's do it.
And I don't want anybody who I work with to go to their grave with anything left in them.
Right.
So just remembering so much that you're right where you're meant to be. You needed to learn some things. And like I said, I stopped professing. I've lost myself. I bet I've said it 100 times in the last year. I just lost myself.
Yeah.
And I stopped professing that. There were things I needed to learn.
Yeah.
It's different, right?
Yeah. It's
better.
season. That's
Powerful stuff, Donna. And I think for listeners, like hearing you've dropped your story, you've shared some really great systems and tools. I love your acronyms, by the way.
Thank you.
Some very memorable things around purpose. But we have to take this show to some fun things to get to know you better.
Okay.
So we're gonna pivot here. Ethan's gonna help us as we're wrapping things up.
Okay.
So.
all right. Rapid fire Q&A. Here we go. First one is, are you right or left-handed?
Right.
Right-handed.
Yeah.
Second question is, how do you rest and recharge?
Well, Jason said it. Lake house.
Yeah.
I love funny movies. I love the laugh out loud movies. I love time with grandbabies. I love travel. I love taking in the culture of other countries. I absolutely love. I love writing. I love poetry. I love creative writing. And sometimes there are just times that, man, a great massage, a bubble bath,
Self-care. Yeah.
perhaps occasionally a nice glass of wine.
Good for the heart. Good for the heart.
Nice. And then if you weren't doing the work that you are today in health and wellness and entrepreneurship and speaking, what kind of work would you be doing?
I'd be in ministry.
Yeah.
I'd be in ministry because it's still the same
love
message,
people.
right? Stepping
Yeah.
into your greatness.
Yeah.
But man, I think that there's a bunch of hogwash out there about being a Christian, that you can't step into your greatness and you can't make money and you shouldn't think highly of yourself. And
Yeah.
I just call BS on all of that. Read the word. It says that we serve a God of favor, right? And one of my favorite lines is, favor ain't fair. Favor ain't fair. I don't want fair. I want favor.
Right.
Right. So I'd be in ministry.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great answer. I love that. And then just a couple of closing questions here for you. And the first one is, what is one professional development resource that was impactful for you along your professional journey? I know you've already mentioned this group that you are a part of, but is there anything that you can send our listeners to?
Favorite book, favorite mind shift.
I will tell you that I'm a wordsmith, right?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things has just been my collection from all the amazing people I've associated with. Like, next time you catch yourself saying should, should's a shame word. You should have, I should have, they should have, he should have. It's a shame word. If you just change it to could have, now you've empowered yourself. Instead of I should have, I could have, you said, oh, okay, but I made a decision. Well, is that the same decision I'll make next time, right? Have to. I have to get to Bell Fountain. I got to get this podcast done. I get to Bell Fountain. It brings the cells alive in your body. Now, again, so I'm going to say it one more time because what you're asking me. Life by Design Business Blueprint. We go over this kind of stuff because, you see, this is the mindset stuff.
Yeah.
So Dennis Waitley, oh my gosh, you guys, The Psychology of Winning. Dennis is 92 years old now. He just wrote The Psychology of Loving. How
I
cool
love that.
is that?
Those veterans like Zig Ziglar. I mean, you can name so many the gems of people in terms of mind shift and
Seeds of Greatness. That's another one from Dennis. Born to Win is Zig Ziglar's.
Yeah.
Everything Jim Rohn, because the guy
Jim
was
Rohn's
like the sage wisdom grandfather type guy. You could just listen to him. Funny, but dry sense of humor where you laugh out loud and he's teaching you at the same time. I mean, go look up the YouTube videos on Zig, on Jim Rohn, on Dennis Waitley. I mean, I was blessed to share stages, but get to be friends with these people. I'm friends with the Ziglars. Nobody can say that stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to pass that. I mean, not be able to. I get to. See, I just
There
did
you
it.
go.
I did it. I get
practice.
to pass that on.
Yeah.
And I think being contagious is huge. We need to be contagious with the things that we have going for us. We need to help other people get infected with the passionate things that we're infected by. And I think that helps you to achieve what you want to achieve better, quicker, faster, because there's no way to learn quicker than teach. So something you're passionate about or something you've learned, which is me sharing what Dennis said to me when he said, you're right where you're meant to be. You didn't know then what you know now. How can you be judging the person today by the person that was then? You can't do that. And
Yeah, no, I love that. And then if someone were listening today, I know you already mentioned several landing sites or pages, but if they wanted to follow you in your work, where can they keep up with all the things that you are doing?
So if it is a health and wellness interest, it would be, the most recent is turbofastweightloss.com, which is far more than just about weight loss. That's just where we are in January, right?
Yeah.
So again, I created a landing page that would meet people where they are. That's just a big thing for me. Let's meet people where they are. And then for anybody that's interested in a VIP day or working with the Life by Design Business Blueprint, go to Life by Design Business Blueprint. It's a waiting list right now, but I will reach out to you to say, what are you interested in? Going back to the buckets, Jason, are you interested in learning something? Are you interested in being coached? Are you interested in a VIP day so we can figure out where we need to take your business? Are you interested in being at a mastermind type level where you're with the like-minded people?
Yeah.
Right? So Life by Design Business Blueprint is where you can find out more about that. Just don't be shocked when you get there and it says it's a waiting list.
Yeah.
I will get back to you, but right now, that's what it says.
Yeah,
That's great.
Great resources.
Donna, thank you. High energy is what I felt
Yeah.
like. I feel energized after today's
recharged.
conversation. It's also a reminder that, especially in the new year, it is a great time to revitalize and rejuvenate your soul, your mind. I love one of the activities that I've got in the habit of doing around this time of year is instead of creating all the goals and a list of things I want to do, I've actually been creating a list of things I want to stop doing. And so
Yeah.
it gives you that time to refocus, like Donna was saying, and get clarity on your systems, get clarity of, am I doing the things just to do these things, or am I
Right.
doing things that are actually taking me to somewhere I want to go? So thanks for, sharing such great advice. And I'm excited to continue to collaborate with you. I know we've got some things that we're talking about and brewing, but thanks for sharing all the links, advice, and resources today.
That was fun, you guys. I had a blast. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are great. Very fun.
Thanks for tuning in on this episode of the Small Nation podcast. We hope that conversation proved valuable to you. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to share the episode and follow the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcasting platform. You can also subscribe to the Small Nation YouTube channel if you prefer to watch your episodes. Follow Small Nation on social media, and we'll see you in the next episode.